Welcome to Outside View Scandals. I'm your host, and if you think your week was bad because you forgot your Rewe loyalty card or the Deutsche Bahn was, shocker, 15 minutes late, stay tuned. We're looking at a world that has decided that integrity is a vintage concept from the 1920s, like top hats or polio. We've got 10 countries, 10 disasters, and enough corruption to make a middle management bureaucrat in Berlin look like Mother Teresa. And let's dive into the swamp. The DOJ in the USA kind of refused to release the full Epstein files despite the Epstein Transparency Act. So let's start with a country that treats its secrets like a hoarder treats old newspapers, and that's the United States. You remember Jeffrey Epstein, the man who had more powerful friends than a billionaire has offshore accounts? Well, a month ago, a law was passed, and that's called the Epstein Transparency Act. It basically said, hey DOJ, show us the names, all of them, even the ones that make us want to bleach our eyes. And the deadline passed. Then 10 days passed. And now we are 40 days past the deadline, and the Department of Justice just filed a document last Tuesday saying, we are working on it. Redacting is hard. They've released 1% of the files. 12,000 pages out of 2 million. And that's like me promising you a 5-course meal and giving you one single unwashed pea. And what are they hiding? Well, at this point, I assume the files contain evidence that the moon is actually a giant disco ball owned by Prince Andrew. The DOJ says they are protecting victims. Right, because nothing says protecting victims like keeping the identities of their powerful abusers a state secret for decades. It's not a cover-up, it's procrastination for the soul. At Italy, we have some very nice stuff going on. The land of pizza, pasta, and procurement fraud. On January 29th, the EPPO in Milan went after a large international consultancy company. Apparently, this company won 15 tenders worth 15 million euros by pinky promising they had high-level experts working on the projects. And spoilers, they didn't. It's a classic corporate move. Sell the client a Ferrari, deliver a unicycle with a flat tire, and pocket the difference. The company has already paid £3 million into an escrow account as a sorry we got caught fee. And in Italy, they just call this Thursday. And the best part? These were European social funds, money meant to help people. Instead, it probably helped some consultant buy a yacht named Efficiency. And last week, Nicolas Maduro, the man who ruled Venezuela with an iron fist and a very questionable mustache, stood in a Manhattan court. He didn't just say not guilty, he went full Hollywood. He told the judge, I'm a kidnapped president, a prisoner of war. Sir, you were caught in a military raid and flown to New York. That's not a kidnapping, that's an involuntary extradition with a very bad catering. He's charged with narco-terrorism and cocaine trafficking. And his defense is essentially, you can't arrest me, I'm the protagonist of the season. And meanwhile, back in Venezuela, the US is reportedly blockading oil tankers. It's a mess, and it's like a Netflix show where the writers gave up and just starting throwing grenades at the script. And you remember BYD, the Chinese electric car giant. Their motto is build your dreams. Well, for 163 workers in Brazil this week, the dream looked a lot like a 19th century plantation. Labor inspectors found workers in conditions analogous to slavery. Withheld passports, unnecessary barracks, grueling hours. I guess build your dreams only applies if you're the CEO. If you're the guy building the battery, the motto is build my profit and shut up. And BYD's response? They blamed foreign forces for trying to defame them. The classic, the CIA made us do the slavery defense. It works every time. If you are a Bond villain. And since I'm sitting here in Germany, let's talk about home. Our Chancellor Friedrich Merz is finding out that ruling a country is harder than managing a private equity portfolio. And the scandal last week, a massive leak of internal memos showing that the austerity we were promised only applies to who eats döner or something. And for the big industry, the subsidies are flowing like beer at the Oktoberfest. We have a debt break for schools, but apparently a money printer for lobbyists. It's the most German scandal ever. It involves a lot of paperwork, 3 different committees, and everyone being deeply concerned while doing absolutely nothing. And Merz is trying to look presidential, but he currently looks like a man trying to fly a plane while the wings are being sold for scrap metal. In the UK, the Serious Fraud Office has been busy. They've launched dawn raids, which is just a fancy way of saying police breaking your door before you had your Earl Grey into home read. And this company was supposed to buy homes for the homeless and charities. Investors put in millions. And the result? The homes were crumbling, the charities weren't getting any money, and the executives were, well, let's just say they weren't homeless. And it's the perfect British scandal. It combines property prices, fake philanthropy, and a complete lack of shame. And it turns out the only thing Home Read successfully housed was a giant pile of laundered cash. And the EU has sanctions on Russia. You can't sell them luxury cars, but somehow 760 transport vehicles that were definitely 100% totally going to Turkey actually accidentally took a wrong turn at the border and somehow ended up in Moscow. And Olaf, the EU Anti-Fraud Office, coordinated this investigation. They found that these cars were destined for Armenia, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. But when the investigators looked at the GPS, the cars were all sitting in Russian garages. Oh, Kazakhstan? I thought you said Krasnodar. My GPS is in Cyrillic. It's a nightmare. It's a 760 car coincidence. And I hate it when I try to drive to the supermarket and accidentally export a fleet of Mercedes to a sanctioned pariah state. Happens to the best of us. And you thought beauty pageants were just about world peace and hairspray? Think again. In the Philippines this week, the Miss Universe organization is imploding. Olivia Yates of Côte d'Ivoire stepped down, and there are rumors of a hostile takeover by businessmen. It's basically Succession, but with more sequence. Netizens are obsessed with a meme called What Hafen Vela, which involves a viral clip of a celebrity delivery. But the real scandal is the behind-the-scenes bidding war for the pageant, because nothing says empowering women like a group of billionaires arguing over who gets to own the rights to judge their swimsuits. And back to New York, because one scandal isn't enough to the Big Apple. Ingrid Lewis Martin, that's the name, the top aide to the former mayor, is in court. The list of bribes she allegedly took is like a Bet 8 starter pack. 2-carat diamond earrings? Check. Home upgrades? Check. A speaking role on the TV show Godfather of Harlem? Check. And the best part? A promise to help her son open a Chick-fil-A franchise. Imagine selling out the city of New York for a role in a cable drama and some fried chicken. That's not just corruption, that's low-budget corruption. If you are going to burn your career, do it for a private island, not a fast food permit. And finally, we have the AI scandal again. Elon Musk's AI Grok has been hallucinating. And by hallucinating, I mean creating unlawful and sexualized images of world figures and children. And the EU is furious. The UK is demanding explanations. And Elon's response will likely be a meme of a sink or something. We were promised AI would solve cancer and climate change. Instead, we got a bot that creates deepfake scandals at 100 frames per second. And that's the ultimate 2026 scandal. We aren't even producing our own lies anymore. We've outsourced the corruption to a silicon chip. Well, 10 scandals 1 week, and we didn't even mention the fact that some celebrities are still trying to make metaverse fashion happen. The world isn't falling apart, folks. It's just being sold to the highest bidder, one 2-carat earring and one lost car at a time. I'm Marc, and this was Outside View Scandals. Stay skeptical, stay cynical, and for God's sake, if you're going to smuggle 700 cars to Russia, maybe don't use the same GPS as your Instagram. See you next week.